Hi everyone, this is Athena from Courage Coaching. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If you are new to my channel, then please click on the subscribe button in order to get notifications for any new videos that I upload. And if you enjoy my content, then please give it a thumbs up. Now, in today's video, I wanted to talk about something known as quiet borderline personality disorder, so quiet BPD. Now, although quiet BPD is not an official mental health condition, it does describe individuals with a BPD diagnosis, but who don't meet the typical profile for the condition. Quiet BPD is also known as high functioning BPD. Now, before I dive into quiet BPD, let's look at the DSM criteria that diagnose somebody with borderline personality disorder. In order to have a diagnosis for borderline personality disorder, you have to have at least 5 of the following criteria. The first one is that these individuals engage in frantic efforts to prevent actual or perceived abandonment. The second one, they have a history of unstable relationships that involve idealizing and then devaluing a person, which is also known as splitting or black and white thinking. The third one is that they have a very unstable identity or image of themselves. The fourth one is that they have problems with impulsive or risky behavior. The fifth one is that there are frequent incidents of self-harm or suicidal ideation. The sixth one is that they have rapid or frequent mood swings and they experience intense emotions. The seventh one is that they have a chronic feeling of emptiness. The eighth one is that they have feelings of intense or uncontrollable anger. And lastly, the ninth criteria is that they experience a lot of dissociation, which is basically a disconnection from the self and having an almost out-of-body experience in some cases. They very, very much struggle to identify what they are feeling because of the dissociation that they experience. Now, in order to meet the borderline personality disorder diagnosis, you need to have at least 5 of these 9 criteria. Now, when we are talking about somebody who has quiet BPD, we need to be aware that it's harder to identify somebody that has this, as the signs of this personality type are not as obvious as normal BPD is in itself. For example, a person with typical borderline personality disorder may show outward signs of rage. However, a person with quiet BPD may turn that rage inwards, and they may engage in self-destructive behaviors that hurt only themselves. So, for instance, another example could be that a person with BPD might have tantrums or crying fits, but somebody with quiet BPD will become really moody and very withdrawn. So the most important thing to be aware of with quiet BPD is that most of the traits that you notice in somebody who has standard BPD, they actually turn these more towards themselves. So it's more inwards. It's more harmful for themselves rather than to others. So let's talk through some of the characteristics of somebody with quiet borderline personality disorder. The first one is that they have unhealthy boundaries. They can become obsessed with a specific person and they may want to spend as much time as possible with that person. They can be very mean to others, but in a quiet way. So for instance, giving the silent treatment or being passive aggressive. They tend to self-isolate or avoid others as a form of self-protection because they may be feeling really scared or very overwhelmed. They tend to self-harm a lot. And this is, hidden from others because they don't want others to worry about them. They can suffer from really intense feelings of hopelessness and helplessness. So again, they keep this to themselves so others don't worry. They may experience inward directed hostility or anger or aggression. So they may, for instance, have a really harsh inner critic. And also they will self-harm, which is a form of aggression towards themselves. They have a very poor self-image or a very rapidly changing self-image. They have a pattern of idealizing and devaluing others and then discarding them. So this is very similar to normal BPD. They have an intense fear of rejection. They are very prone to having mood swings, and these mood swings can last from hours up until days. They can take very small things very personally. So they may assume someone's ignoring them when actually they're not. They're just really busy. They are not able to read others very well. So they may think that other people are angry with them when actually they're not. They have very distorted thinking or obsessive thinking. They have a fear of being alone, or they may feel like they need to push people away. They can move from one extreme to the other or both at times. So one minute they may be fine in somebody's company, but in other moments they really don't want to be with anybody and they would rather be alone. They tend to self-sabotage a lot. They experience a lot of feelings of being triggered that leads to, really uncomfortable internalized emotions such as shame or guilt. They do have moments where they feel numb or really empty inside. They are very prone to people pleasing, and this obviously causes a lot of problems for them in the long term. Lastly, they do struggle with accepting the emotions that they may have at times. So they then will try to suppress the emotions they are having or avoid them. And they are generally in a constant state of hypervigilance. Now, if you have had experience with someone like this, or if you are somebody who you think may have quiet BPD, I hope this video has helped. I hope that you have identified, some of these in yourself or in somebody else, and this gives you a bit more clarity and it helps you sort of figure out, what you're dealing with and understanding things better. And if you would like to share your experience about being in a relationship with somebody that has this, then please feel free to do so in the comments below the video. That is it for today. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you can and consider subscribing to the channel. And I will see you very soon in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.